All right, I get ready to go live. I'm trying to get my Facebook also working. So if you are not someone who does TikTok, I'm trying to have that available. I can't seem to figure out how this works though. I guess I should have taken a little more time to figure this one out. I thought it was as simple as hitting a button. Got a column tools. No, I just want to go live. For some reason, it's not letting me. No, we don't need to screen share. Close. So I'm just going to give everybody a few minutes to pop on here. This is my first time doing this, so I don't know how long it takes for people to kind of tune in and get in here. Golly, why can't I get this to work? Let me go back to the main page again, maybe. Create live video event. Okay. Join live. Boy, this is not working. Bummer. I really wanted this to work. So, hey, if everybody's popping in here, thank you for joining. We're going to be starting our grow along here shortly. I'm just trying to get the Facebook set up. I would really love for this to work. I didn't realize it was going to be so complicated, and it's not letting me select it for whatever reason. I'm having a lot of technical issues lately. Golly, I thought I could do it. You know what? Maybe I'll just do it from my regular page instead of Little Urban Farm, because this is not working. Discard and exit. All right, let's see. What time is it? All right, it's only 3 after. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Hopefully the next time this will go a little bit smoother. I don't know why this won't just let me go live. Create a live video. Yeah, I guess I got a little bit of work I need to do on this. Okay, well, sorry guys, I can't get the Facebook to work. I guess I'll do it from my main page, because this is not working at all. Oh no, they're asking me to do a bunch of questions too. This is not working. Oh dang. Okay. All right, we're gonna ignore that. Anyway, welcome for joining me. Sorry that I can't get the Facebook to work. I was really hoping to hit that audience as well. But today we're gonna do microgreens. So I've got my little microgreens gardens. Some of you have probably seen this tutorial that I did. It is posted and pinned at the top of my videos. These are little containers that I got from Target. They came 3 to a pack for $2. So that makes them less than $1 each. These as well, if you like that style better. And then I got the bigger ones to put them in so that they can drain and not get water everywhere. So that is what they look like. I just put some drill holes in those. That's all that is. And it was really easy. People seem to really like the idea because you can do microgreens on a small scale. And if you're someone like me, I don't have a bunch of people living in my house. I don't have a big family. So I don't need a large tray of microgreens, and I don't go through them that fast. So this is what I'm working with today. There are a lot of other ways you can do your microgreens. You can do them in it's a tray more like this up here that is a longer tray with holes in it. And technically you can do it in just about anything. You can use recycled containers. You can use, like, I like the little to-go Chinese containers. Those are really easy to use as well. The only thing you really want to make sure you have is some sterilized seed starting mix. You could also probably use potting soil for this, but you might want to make sure that it's new. Since these are seedlings, to have something that is sterilized really helps keep down any fungal or bacterial elements. It just gives it something brand new to start with. So this is what I've been using, and I've been very happy with it. You could pick this up at Walmart. I think I've got a link in my bio to this as well, though I don't recommend buying it through my Amazon because it's really pricey. This should be about $5. But if you forget what it's called and you want to go look, I do have that linked. And I usually take a container and put my soil or seed starting mix in it, just so I have something that I can put a little water in there with it. I can mix it up. It also gives me a nice place for this to drop all the dirt into. So as I'm filling them, you know, I'm not making a mess in my work surface. But you can see this is a little bit darker because I did get it a little bit wet. You're gonna want this wet for your seeds. You don't have to necessarily get it wet ahead of time, but I think it helps. Especially with some of the seed starting mixes, especially if it's got a lot of peat moss or something in it, those a lot of times do not hold water very well. So I tend to do this ahead of time. I like to fill it up. You don't have to, you could keep it lower, but the higher up it is, the easier it is to snip your microgreens once they start growing. We're gonna fill all of these. And I like growing microgreens because they're easy. I mean, they really are. They're easy. If you live in more of an urban setting and you don't have the space to do a large garden, this is one thing that you can do. You can grow on your kitchen counter. If you don't have a lot of light, you might want to look into getting some grow lights. They make all kinds of little grow light stands now that you can get super easy. You could set it up on your counter. You could do something like I have behind me. I've got a shelf with some grow lights back here. You know, there's a lot of different ways you can do it, and you can get creative with it. So let's keep filling this up. I've got these long ones. The seeds that I pulled today are arugula, broccoli, and then overnight I soaked some pea tendrils and some black oil sunflower seeds, which I've never done before, so we're gonna do those together. And then I got some cat grass for the kitties, and I cannot promise that the kitties are not going to try to make an appearance. They love to crawl across my table, and that might happen, so if they do, you can say hi to them. The dog right now is outside, so I don't know if you'll get to say hi to her or not. I may try to keep her outside because she gets a little needy and wants to go in and out and in and out and in and out, and that's just disruptive. In fact, she's at the door right now wanting to come in. So hopefully she'll be okay for a minute. And for the cat grass, I'm going to use this little recycled container. It's not a very big container. These are my little coconut yogurts that I eat. They're plastic. I also use these for starting seeds in. I usually put holes in it. For this, I'm probably not going to because I usually spray these with a spray bottle. So I'm not going to worry about it too much with this. Though if you have holes in the bottom, it really does help so that you can do some bottom watering. Bottom watering is nice, especially as the plants get bigger. You're not getting the leaves wet, and the leaves, once they get kind of full grown and wet all the time, they can get moldy, and you don't want that. So it is kind of nice to be able to bottom water, but for the cat grass, I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, so now I'm going to move my soil out of the way here. And I don't know what to do first. I have, let's see, these are the black oil sunflower seeds. We soaked these overnight. I did a quick little video last night on that. These are the pea tendrils. And then this is the cat grass. And when you've soaked them, you can kind of see they get, they almost look like they're getting ready to pop. They kind of fill up. Let me see if I can get one side by side to show you. You know, this is what they look like dry. Hopefully you can see that. They kind of plump up. They get a little more color, they plump up. Sometimes they might even already start to split. These are trying to. That's what you want. The bigger seeds have a harder hull on them, and the harder hull takes longer to break through. So by soaking them, you are giving them an easier chance to break through that and just to germinate faster. You don't have to. I think with something like this, you probably can make it work either way. It just might take a little bit longer. So I'm gonna pat this down just a little bit. We'll start with our black oil sunflower seeds. With microgreens, you wanna plant them kind of densely. This is not something like you do for the garden where you might space them out, you know, every 6 inches or 2 inches or whatever. These you actually do want to plant them densely. That helps them get their structure, and they grow in these nice big clumps. Like you've seen, this is my overgrown basil, but they grow in a nice big clump like that. In fact, this, I'm gonna see if I can't plant this outside. Same with my leftover kale. And if anybody had questions before about how long microgreens last, these are from those original videos, which I think I did a month and a half ago, maybe 2 months ago. So as long as you keep them watered, you know, there's a little bit of yellowing happening down here that is probably a nitrogen deficiency. So you do maybe want to fertilize them because they're not working with a lot of soil in these little containers. But I'm gonna plant those outside and we'll see how they do, and maybe we can report back on that experiment and see if it works. Anyway, let's keep going. I've got the pea sprouts now. I really love the pea sprouts. My favorite thing to put these on is it's like a mock tuna fish sandwich using chickpeas and mayonnaise, and I think I put shallots in it, and I've done a video on that as well. I do try to do videos of food for people so they can see how to use this stuff, because I know that's a big issue, especially with something like microgreens if you're new to them. I put them on a little bit of everything. I put them on eggs in the morning. I put them on sandwiches. I put them on, you can even put them in salads. You know, it could be a nice little pop of flavor. Okay, and I'm just gonna push these down. You want the seeds to make pretty good contact with the soil. And I probably should have grabbed, let me see. I think I have another container back here. It's also nice to use another container to tamp it down. So I'm going to take this, and actually we're going to need another set of these, because what you do is you cover them up and you put them in a blackout stage. So if you think about a seed being planted, you know, they like to be dark to send down those roots. Now, I'm not pressing this super hard. I'm just trying to make sure that these have some contact, and these are also going to get something put inside to give them a little bit of weight. And what that does is the weight inside this helps them start to try to push up, and they get some strength. They get strength because they're trying to push up that weight. They're trying to push up whatever they're on. So there's one of our microgreen trays done. You know, there's 2 varieties there, and that's all it is. That's all that is. Let's see. Let's do the next one. Oh, we can do our catgrass seeds, I guess. Catgrass seeds are nothing exciting. Catgrass is also wheatgrass. A lot of the times you'd have to read your package instructions to make sure. I know this one is wheatgrass, so this is not just for cats. You could easily juice this or put this in your smoothies if you have some. I'm not sure. I think all the seeds that I purchased, by the way, are linked in my bio. That's another question a lot of people always have, is where do you get your seeds? I have those linked from my bio. I try to link all my products just so that it makes it easier to find, because I know how frustrating that is when you have to go searching. So you can find a quick access link there, and I absolutely love this company. I've been very pleased with the results, and we're going to try some new ones from Haas Tools. Mama Haas, if you tune in, I'm gonna be growing those broccoli seeds you sent me. Okay. Again, it's that simple. Probably each one of these I might give a little spray down to. A spray bottle is a great thing. I just received a tip too about a spray bottle that you can hold and it'll spray for you. It's a continuous spray. I haven't gotten one yet, but I will be sure to link to that in my bio as soon as I get one ordered and try it out. All this is doing is getting the seeds set up, giving them a little more moisture. Okay, that one's ready. I didn't do these. Let me give these a little spray. All right. Some of the reasons I grow microgreens, one of them is they're nutrient dense. They're, I think, 2 to 3 times the amount of nutrients that you get in like a full-grown adult plant. I don't know why. I guess because it's coming from the seed and it's just a baby, so it's got all that stuff that it's growing with. And maybe somebody can share with us the exact science of how that works. I don't know. We're gonna do the arugula next. But that's one of the reasons I really like growing them, is that they're very nutritious, and especially in the winter time frame and leading into the spring right now, you don't have a lot of greens growing in your garden, so microgreens are an easy way to have some greens on little things like avocado toast or sprinkled across your eggs. It's just a way to get those nutrients in and get those leafy greens in. My arugula I put in a jar. One of the tips that I do have for y'all is get a lid that you can sprinkle these, especially the bigger ones. Oops, we got a pea tendril that went rogue. Put that over there. I don't think Ball makes these lids anymore. However, I wanted to show you guys something and I forgot to grab it. Hold on one second. Okay, so let me get this out of the way first, but I'm going to sprinkle a nice even layer of this arugula. Okay, I'm going to take this off of here for a second. Did you know that these fit? In fact, I don't even normally buy this grated Parmesan cheese. I bought it because I wanted to have an extra lid. Save your Parmesan cheese lids. And that way, check this out. You've got, if I can open it, you've got that side that's large for putting a spoon in there if you want to, and you want to sprinkle your seeds that way, or you can sprinkle your seeds from there. You can also use Old Spice containers. This is actually from Penzi Spices. I think you can buy just their spice containers, or you can get their spices, wash it, get all the stuff off of it, and label it. But this is another great way. It helps you have more control over how you're actually spreading those seeds across that top layer. We're not growing any of these ones today, but I wanted to make sure I showed you guys all that. Okay, so those ones are in, and let's see. Now we're gonna try Haas Premium Garden Seeds. Haas Tools sent these to me to try out. They saw some of my videos on microgreens. So we are going to give their microgreens a try. We're gonna see how well they do. They should do great. Any microgreens you find should do great. I haven't even opened them yet. But these are Waltham 29 broccoli. So these are a broccoli seed. These are another one that are gonna be kind of small. They're gonna be about the same as kale. They're in the same family. Let's see if I can show you what those look like. Little round guys. These are, again, would probably be easier and something I could sprinkle, but you can always just sprinkle it across the top. That looks pretty good. With these little gardens, I kind of tend to think of it as like 1 to 2 tablespoons of seeds. At least with the bigger seeds, that's what it's ended up being. I would imagine with the little seeds, it's pretty close too. You could always start with 1 tablespoon and see what that looks like. Let me see if I can get this closer for you too, so you can see. You can get an idea of how dense I do those. I probably need to figure out getting a camera. That way I could have one that goes down while I'm talking to you. So again, we're gonna spray these down. And honestly, guys, this part of this tutorial probably isn't going to take that long. Microgreens are that easy to sow and to grow. So we can spend some time answering some questions after this part is done. I'm sure there will be plenty of them. And again, I'm going to tamp this down just to make sure they're getting good, even contact with that soil. So you can see it's compacted a little bit, but it shouldn't be compacted too much. And I'm not gonna use the same container because these seeds are sticking. So we're gonna get a new container for this one. But again, we're gonna push that down a little bit. Okay. And what we can do now is stack them. It provides a little bit of weight. Actually, I don't know if that's gonna work. You know what? Let me try it the other way. No, maybe I'm not gonna stack them. I take that back. I thought maybe they'd stack. I probably will take some of the actual seeds here because they're kind of heavy. And like for this, so I know which ones are which, this one is the arugula. That's just going to provide a little bit of weight. And I don't have broccoli there. I have some other broccoli seeds. We put those on the other one. Our pea tendrils are a little light. Those aren't going to fit very well. I put in there. Those don't fit in there very good either. Bear with me here. It kind of fits. I thought I had more of those little containers. I guess I don't. Well, I don't want to stretch these out. Well, I'll find something. I'll find something that I can weight that down with. I didn't plan far enough ahead with my weights. For now, I can put these little ones in here. And from here, you're all gonna laugh, but I store them in my microwave. The microwave shuts, it keeps the light out. They have a semi-humid environment that way because it's closed up. They are fine in there. And then you are just gonna check these every single day and make sure that you know, they're staying watered. I would water them when they're just starting like this. I would check them every morning and every night. As they start to get bigger, you don't necessarily have to do that, but check them every day right now, at least twice a day. In fact, if they're starting to look dry at all, take your water bottle and give them a good spray. You want them to germinate and they need a lot of moisture to do that. But for now, let's head over into my kitchen and we'll pop these into the microwave. I know it probably seems kind of silly, but I also have cats. And this is a great way to protect your microgreens from your cats. So there's one there. As I was saying there, oh, she just ran. One of the kitties is up on the table. She's checking out all the greens. All right. Now, yes, I'm going to have to pull those out every time I go to make anything. I don't use my microwave all that often, honestly, so it's not a big deal. And I did not cover the cat grass. Let's see if I can put something with some weight in here. We'll do the pea tendrils. That should fit. There's our little the cat grass. I just like growing that for the kitties. They enjoy it. So there you go. That is what that looks like. And I don't have any started to be able to show you guys any progress, but I will certainly film, some mini little videos on my page so that you can see the progress as it goes. Maybe try to also remind people to water their microgreens, and we could talk about any issues they might have. When they first start to grow, sometimes they get these little hairs that look like mold. It's not mold. Those are root hairs. Most vegetables have those, I think. And that might throw people off and think that they're molding. I will be honest, sometimes I do get a little bit of mold in my microgreens. This one doesn't have any. But a lot of the times, as long as it is down at the ground level and not up in the leaves, this is still perfectly fine to harvest. There's nothing wrong with this. These are a little overgrown, but there is absolutely nothing wrong with these. So I'm going to try planting those out. In fact, maybe I'll do that today. Some of my stuff back here is actually microgreens that I've planted out. So I have, they're way in the back. I took some of the basil and some of the leeks that I had, and I've got those potted up, and I'm going to see if I can't get those to grow for my garden. I think the seeds are the same. In fact, the leeks that I grew, I bought the same kind from another company. So I'm not really sure if it matters. We're going to find out. I don't think that it should. And if somebody else has experience with that, they can always let us know. But anyway, let me see if we got any comments here. Let's see. I don't know. Oh, here we go. I see Carrie. Hi, Carrie. All right, we don't have too many comments, so I guess I don't have any questions from y'all. I don't know if there's anything else I can cover. I'm also right now working on starting seeds. As you can see, I've got this little setup behind me. My tomatoes are just starting to pop up. I'm growing peppers right now. I am in South Carolina, Zone 7B. I'm right on the border of North Carolina. So if you're near North Carolina, that might also be your area as well. The stores are now getting all of their stuff. In fact, I just went down to Lowe's today to get some manure for the asparagus that I'm going to film later. And they are pumping truckloads of plants into these stores this year. So the gardening bug has hit, and I love it. I'm here for it. And I'm here to be able to help you guys as well. But they're even having some other varieties that I haven't seen in the past. They had some bush pickling cucumbers, which I can usually find at my farmer's exchange. It's a little local store here. I don't think I've ever seen bush pickling cucumbers at Lowe's, and they also had one that is a little snacker cucumber. So I'm kind of excited to see some of these other varieties slowly popping up, and they're slowly pushing this stuff out. They had a good variety of hybrid and heirloom. I tend to do more heirloom, but I do grow some hybrid. There's nothing wrong with hybrid. I know some people get a little freaked out about that. It is not the same thing as a GMO. What it is you take two different plants that, have beneficial characteristics that you want to cross, and so you cross-pollinate them. It's like having a kid, You take the DNA from both and you pop it together and you see what favorable traits come out. And those plants with the favorable traits you cultivate. Now, you can actually get it to a point that becomes something that is a more permanent variety. But I think it takes, it takes several years, 7 years or something like that to be able to claim it as a new variety. And the problem with hybrids is that they're unstable. A lot of times a hybrid, if you go to plant it out, that's how you get things like seedless cucumbers. Well, it's seedless, therefore it's not going to reproduce. That kind of stuff is kind of fascinating to me. Early girl tomatoes, anything with like an early girl, usually that is a sign that that's been bred for something. Sometimes they do it for pest control. There's certain pests that might be drawn or not drawn based on the DNA and what this plant gives off. So it has a lot of beneficial things, but heirlooms are the ones, if you want to be able to save your own seeds, you definitely want to stick with the heirlooms. But we could probably do a seed talk. I'm a little bit new to seeds myself. I have not grown from seeds, at least not like this. And this year I'm doing fantastic. I'm really happy with the results. I went ahead and bypassed my broccoli and cauliflower because we've already had things bolting here. We've had 80-degree days in March, possibly even at the end of February. So I don't think I'm going to plant many of the cold weather things until the fall. And I'm just going to focus on my warm weather stuff. So right now it's all peppers, jalapenos, serranos, habaneros. I did get some hybrid candy cane seeds. That was my favorite pepper last year. And all of my tomatoes, I finally started, and they're just popping up. So that's pretty exciting. But now is the time to have this stuff start. My sister's all the way up in Vermont. Because she's so close to Canada, she's going to have one of the, I say slower. It's going to be a faster growing season because it's a shorter growing season for her. So I think she can probably start getting her seeds ready. I've been able to start sowing seeds for at least a month and a half now. But we have a very long growing season because it stays warm so long here. Her being in Vermont, it doesn't stay warm as long. So they only have that small little window. And stuff like kale and broccoli, she can sometimes grow that stuff the whole season, where I really can't because in South Carolina it gets too warm. So there's a lot of nuances with this stuff that we could talk forever. But anyway, that was our tutorial for today. This was honestly a lot shorter than I thought it was going to be. I'll check one more time for any questions. I don't see any here. So if anybody does have questions, you can always feel free to reach out to me, send me a message, or just comment on one of my videos. I try to have very good engagement to answer people's questions. I'm here to teach. I'm here to show people. So I try to stay... Oh, my dad popped on. Hi, Dad. My dad is also one of my go-to people. When I don't know how to do something, I call him. So if you give me a question that I don't know how to answer, I contact the guy who does. So he's just joined us, and I don't know if you saw the rest of the video. It was very short. This was a very, very short one. So I do plan on doing some more of these going forward. I don't know if they're going to be every Sunday at 1 o'clock. I'd like to keep a regular time slot to do that. But the gardening season it can be unpredictable, right? We might be outside sometimes, which is fine. I know I've talked about doing some of my mushroom inoculating. That would be amazing if I could get it to work. I keep having some issues there where it'll flush and then it stops flushing, and then it flushes and it doesn't flush. So that's why I haven't gone live with that one yet. But with stuff popping up, we can go out to the garden on a Sunday, which would be nice. Like maybe when it's time to plant the tomatoes, and I can show you guys how to plant those live, which would be nice. And then you can ask questions. So anyway, thank you all. And I see Mama Haas right there. I don't know if she's on or not, but we planted your broccoli seeds, so I'm excited to see how those do. If anybody wants to check out Haas Tools, they have tons of seeds. A lot of they did have quite a few hybrid varieties that I'm excited about. They had one that is a griller squash they sent me. Looks like a cross between a spaghetti squash and a regular squash, but it's like, it's kind of rounder. Oh, I'm so excited for that one. Because that's a bigger seed, I'm probably going to direct sow that one. I usually direct sow cucumbers and zucchini and squash and some of the larger seeds. Usually they just can go out and they're fine. They don't need to be started. It's the smaller seeds I try to start indoors. But anyway, again, if anybody has any questions, please reach out. I'm always here. I'm always happy to help. And let's continue to grow together. I'll see you guys next time.